and good morning, everyone, and welcome to this session on fundraising from recurring donors. Fantastic to actually know that, 22 of you all, close to 80% of people on this chat have recurring donations and are accepting recurring donations from your own donors. So that is very lovely, and I would actually like to take up this as the next question that I have for you is what would you like to get from this session? And we'll keep it a very interactive discussion. If there's something out here which is something else that you'd like to get, please put it onto the chat window as a Q&A as well. So I can address any other issues, any other things that are coming out which are not from the session. So Vikram is asking whether recurring donation does it mean like an auto debit from the donor's account, or is it a general monthly donation from the donor? Recurring donation. So we'll get to what it is, but I think just to answer for the sake of this question really is, we're talking about, say, do you get regular donations, recurring donations from your donors? Ideally, it has to be an automated setup. Otherwise, it's not really a recurring donation. Okay, so I'm going to, I think we've got everyone who's voted. I'm going to share these results with you. So great. I think most people know what recurring donation is, but we will do a slight primer on what that is about. And everyone wants to understand how to set it up. Fair broken up between how do you set it up and how do you use it better, how do you get more donors, what's the donor acquisition strategy, what is the donor communication strategy. So we'll walk through that as well in this through this session, talking about both a donor acquisition as well as a communication plan, as so as to speak. Right. So let's first of all understand what exactly is recurring donations. Right. So let me start off with that. So if I have to define it, so as to speak, it is a recurring donation is a fixed amount that is automatically paid out. I'm going to stress on that word automatically, because if it is not automatic and you have to remind someone, it really becomes like a one-time donation which is coming multiple times on every occurrence. So in a recurring donation, you do not have to remind, right? Vikram, I hope I am able to answer your question. We're not trying to remind. It has to be automatically paid out at a specific frequency. So what are the key components of a recurring donation? So one is the frequency of the donation. It could be weekly, it could be monthly, quarterly, annually. Even an annual donation, if someone has set it up, let's say for the next 2-3 years, that's also great, because you're going to get money every year without you having to ask, and without anyone forgetting, and without it getting missed, all of that good stuff, and you're actually going to get that donation. A recurring donation typically has a start date on which it will start, an end date by when it will end. What is the periodicity of this donation? It's a fixed amount donation, and that's why it can happen automatically. Any amount that the donor feels appropriate. On average, we see that people on their own easily give at least 500 rupees. We have donors who are also giving 1,000 to 2,000 rupees per month. But 500 as a minimum is what we do see donors willing to give if they themselves have asked for it. If you are doing an outreach program, then maybe that number should be lower, closer to 250 rupees to get people hooked onto this program. And like I said, automated. This is actually the most key thing, because if you do not automate the donation, there is no guarantee that the donation is going to happen. So the automation part is the most important piece, and partially this is what makes it a little complex in setting up donations, setting up a recurring donation platform. Right. So let me ask all of you now, how many of y'all have used recurring payments? Right. And there are various ways in which you can use payments. So would love to know how many of y'all actually use recurring payments. So I've put up a poll. Would be great to get your responses on how many of y'all have used recurring payments. Okay, let's give this 10 seconds more for everyone to get their responses in. Okay, great. So I'm going to end this polling, share the results with you. So about half of you all have actually experienced recurring payments. But I'm sure many of you all would have done recurring fixed deposits. Many of you all would have invested in mutual funds through a systematic investment plan. Right? Those are also forms of recurring donations or recurring payments, sorry, which happen automatically. But I think it's interesting that at least half of you all have tried it out, and that's what goes to show that the Indian consumer is getting a lot more familiar with subscriptions and recurring payments, right? So a lot of people, especially in the last 1 year, the rise of OTT platforms, video on demand platforms like Amazon Prime, Netflix, has been tremendous, and it is expected to grow at 20% year on year over the next 4-5 years. It's already grown at 60% last year itself, right? This was a very different year, and we've already seen growth of 60%. So the point that I'm trying to make is your donor is a consumer on all these platforms as well. And he is getting used to the idea of making recurring payments. It is something which is now in the last couple of years has become a very normal thing in India, almost like making an online payment. So as your donor gets comfortable making online payments and recurring payments, he's also now trying to do the same thing on the donation side. And recurring donations are not just beneficial for both the NGOs as well as the donors. And my personal view on why an NGO should do recurring is really because it's valuable to the donor. And I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But first of all, what's the value to the NGO? So the value to the NGO is a steady flow of donations. You get a little bit every month, right? You don't have to wait for the one-time donation, which might either happen at Diwali or might happen at the end of the year. Your stream of donations is a lot more regular. Sorry. You can plan your cash flows. You can plan your expenditure much better. It allows you to estimate not just what money is coming in, but how once the money comes in, you can spend it. So that's the benefit of having recurring. Obviously, reduce fundraising cost, because now you're going to ask the donor only once, right? And you are going to get money for a longer period of time, and you're going to get more money as well. So there's a lot of research around this, and I actually put down some numbers, and then I realized that I saw so many different numbers, I didn't know which one to use. But at a very, very simple level, we are finding that, so we've seen numbers which are saying that monthly giving, so recurring donations, is 40% more than, this is by the Lilly School of Philanthropy, is 40% more than one-time giving over a year. It is, according to another survey which was done, they found that monthly giving gave $220 per year versus one-time giving, which gave $97. But the one interesting survey that I saw that I really found very amazing was it reported 600 to 700% more donations over the lifetime of the donor, right? So this is not just a one-year thing, but for all donations received by a donor over a period of time, like during the entire life of the donor with your organization, they found that organizations got 600 to 700% more donations, right? Because people are more comfortable giving in this way. And like I said, I think the most important thing is the donor need. And I'll talk about this as well when we talk about what the donor wants, right? Why is it convenient for the donor? What have we seen in the just in the last 6 to 9 months when we've introduced this platform? What have we heard from donors? And we'll come to that part. And the best part about this is you ask less, engage more, right? You are not constantly asking for donations. It's not a constant appeal for donations. You ask once you get the donor, you start engaging with the donor. You start sharing stories, you start communicating, you start talking about what your organization is doing, giving feedback of the donation, doing that a little bit more because you know you've locked in the donor for whatever period the donor has committed to, and as a result, they will keep giving to you, right? So it allows you to spend a lot more on donor engagement, donor cultivation. On the donor side, so here's the interesting thing that we have seen from donors. Many donors have actually come. So I actually had one of my friends is a donor, and she supports a specific organization. And a couple of weeks back, she came back to me. I think it's about 2-3 weeks back. She came back to me saying, "Hey, I used to support that organization. They had recurring, and now it's not there. What happened?" So I had to tell her, there was a trial period. The organization chose not to take it up. But I think she went and spoke to the organization, and 2 weeks back, the organization decided to take recurring. Right? So a lot of times donors want to give to your organization, and they don't want to miss out on giving to you. But many times, because they have to make that action every time, spend that time, they will miss out on, they could easily miss out on making a donation. And suppose they missed out and then they realize 3 months later, oh my God, I had to give a donation I didn't give. They are unlikely to make up for that missed donation. They are going to give forward. Let me give a very simple example. Let's say there's a donor who's giving you, say, 10,000 rupees every 20,000 rupees a year, but they actually do it in 10,000 rupees every 6 months. Okay. And let's say, for example, they do it once in September and once in March. So come September, the donor, for whatever reason, this time has forgotten to make the donation. Right. And then they realize, they get up in December or January and, oh my God, I forgot to make this donation. I make a 10,000 rupee donation. I'll make it again as 10,000 rupees. But in reality, what has happened is they made a donation 3 months late. You actually missed those 3 months. Now the donor is not going to think in March that I'll make another 10,000 rupee donation. They're most likely going to think, I just made one 3 months ago. Let's wait for another 3 months before we make a donation. Right? So we'll wait for 6 months. Again, after 6 months, every 6 months I make a donation. So now you're getting a donation in June instead of getting it in March. So as a result of this, your donations are getting delayed. So you have not been able to get your donation and you've lost 3 months of donation. But instead, if it was set up as a recurring donation every month or every 6 months, it's also, right? There's no question of forgetting. There's no question of a missed donation. You will get your donation. Otherwise, you've just lost 3 months of donation, for example, right? This is a very, very common thing that we see. We see a lot of donors asking their NGOs to have recurring donations for them, right? The other advantage is it allows people to give on a specific date. As you might well know, a lot of donors want to give on a specific date. It could be the birthday of their parents, it could be a marriage anniversary, it could be their child's birthday. Very, very different reasons, but they want to do it on a specific date, right? And a lot of us are like that, right? We want to do something on a specific date. And setting it up as a recurring donation to start on a specific date, allow it to happen on a specific date, allows that flexibility, right? So they could say, for example, I want a donation to happen on 29th of January because it is my birthday today, right? And you could actually enable that. Right? Versus taking birth date and then reminding, which I know many of you all do. But instead of that, can you allow people to just set it up as an automated process? Right? So, that's something that this allows you to do. And smaller donations, they fit into the size, right? Many of us are also very, we don't like asking for donations. We don't like asking definitely for high value donation. So instead of asking for a donation of, we may be very hesitant to ask for a donation of 10,000 rupees, but psychologically will be easier. We'll find it easier to ask for a donation for 1,000 rupees every month. And not only that is already bigger than 10,000 rupees. Remember that. So it makes it easier for you to ask, and it makes it easier for the donor to absorb and to make a contribution, because it's a small amount every month. If it's going from their bank account or getting charged to their credit card, they may not mind. They won't mind it. So it's that's really the benefit. Smaller donations fits easier into the budget. Right. So I've talked about why recurring donation is good and why you need to have it. If there are any questions on that, please feel free to show it on chat, and I'll take it up as we progress through this. There are 3 ways to automate recurring donations. Like I said, recurring donation is not recurring if it is not automated. If it is manual, it's not recurring. It's multiple one-time donations. There are 3 ways to automate recurring donations as of today. I'll separate that into online and offline. So in the offline or the physical world, in pen and paper format, you have something called NACH. NACH is the new version of what was earlier ECS. ECS has been around since 1994. Many of us would have used ECS to set up systematic investment plans for mutual funds, if you've done that, or even set up contributions to various other kind of investment plans. ECS was a lot more difficult for merchants or NGOs to actually do. NACH is a much more simpler, easier process that has now come up. ECS is anyway no longer there, so NACH is available, where people can actually sign up a form, sign it, submit it. You have to submit it to the bank. There's a bit of work around this, but yes, it can be done. If you are meeting your donors one-on-one, you're doing donation drives, this is one option that is available. I know one volunteer organization which does fundraising primarily using this mechanism, or used to do fundraising using this mechanism till before the pandemic. I'm sure they shifted to an online mechanism now, but this is a very critical way in which one way in which it happens. Online, there are 2 methods. First is standing instructions with banks. Most of banks, especially the large ones, have a way for you to set up a standing instruction to make a payment to any other bank account. Okay, so most banks have this option, and as an NGO, you can ask your donor to create a standing instruction to make a payment to you. Right, so that's one option which is there. The second option is through the use of online payment gateways, wherein donors can just come to your website, irrespective of which bank they have, and set up a standing instruction mechanism. So a payment gateway. So let us go through a little bit about what is different between a standing instruction via a bank and a payment gateway, and pros and cons of each, so as to speak. Right. So standing instruction with banks, 0 cost to NGO, very lucrative potentially. Right. You don't pay anything. Your donor may pay or may not pay depending on the bank that he has, but to the NGO it is 0 cost. A donor might be more familiar with it because he may have set up standing instruction for other services as well through the bank, or for payments to somebody else, right? I mean, it could be a parent paying some amount for his child in the hostel, or a son giving back some amount of salary to his parents. So they may have set up something, might be more familiar. But first and foremost, all donor banks may not have it, right? Standing instruction is a very bank-specific feature. Most big banks will have it, but smaller banks may not have it. It's a different process for each bank. So if your donor is not familiar with it or doesn't know it, it could be very challenging for you to explain, because you may not know about that bank. You have an account in ICICI Bank, donor is with Axis Bank, he doesn't know how to set it up. You are going to find it very difficult to help him set it up. right? So this is it becomes a very one-on-one process. Donor will reach out to you. First of all, get your bank details, then try to set it up, then face problems. You have to assist him. So a lot of effort will go in trying to do that. Reconciliation, huge problem. So the money will come from the donor's account to your account, right? Depending on which bank it comes, you may or may not even know the donor's name. You may or may not know who it has come from, which bank account, nothing. And then you will have to go chasing to figure out who it has come from. So big problem, especially for small value amounts. And then you'll have a number of this in your bank account, right? So people giving 500 rupees, 100 rupees every month is coming. So many bank state narrations, lot of work in reconciliation. You also may find it a challenge to get donor information, right? Even if a donor sets it up, you will then need to contact the donor and get all the donor information. So a very manual process of doing all of this, not a very easy process, so as to speak. So what happens with the payment gateway, right? Like I said, can be hosted on the NGO's website itself. You have the opportunity, you may anyway have an online payment gateway, and you have donors coming there. You now have the opportunity to convert this donor from a one-time donor to a recurring donor, right? Because the donor sees it. You're already capturing information for your one-time donation. You can easily capture it for the recurring donation as well. Today in India, finally, after a lot of time, we have a very easy way of doing this. Donors can set up recurring donations via credit cards, debit cards, net banking, and UPI. So they can give via credit card, they can give via their bank accounts, and they can give via UPI. Right? All of these options are available, and people can do it in whichever way they want. They are not restricted now only to the bank account and the login out there. It provides a high degree of automation today. Recurring donations happen automatically. In fact, some of the providers, including Dana Mojo, ensure that there is no work required by the NGO in managing this on a day-to-day basis or on a recurring basis. Payments will happen automatically. Receipts will also go automatically. Right? If there is a problem, you'll be notified that okay, there is a problem, and then you can correct it. But by and large, this just happens automatically every month, every fortnight, whatever the period the donor has set up, transaction will happen. The only difficulty which is there, so one is it's definitely more expensive. Like I said, standard instructions are almost free, but payment gateway is not. It is more expensive, and technologically it is far more complex. So integration is much more complex compared to one-time donations. So if you're trying, so there's a lot of thing involved in this, and we've realized this for the amount of time it's taken us also to get this from our payment gateways. First of all, just getting the service from payment gateway is a big problem. That takes a lot of time, and then understanding how the integration has to happen, what are the different variables, how do you do? It's not as simple as a one-time donation. One-time donations are very simple to integrate today, but in recurring donations are far more complex. And I would say they can take anywhere from 5 times more to 10 times more time compared to a one-time donation. So that is something that you have to keep in mind when you think about this. Once you set this up, you yet have to take care of a few things. Now, many of these things may be things that you may need to take care of if your provider doesn't provide it, or you should look for a provider who takes care of all these things and who ensure that a lot of this is automated. So what are the different things that can happen in a recurring donation? One is obviously success, payment happens, payment is debited, you get it. The one thing that can happen is cancellation, right? The donor cancels the recurring donation. So you may want to check why has the donor done it? What do you need to do to resolve it? What do you need to do to restart it? You need to probably engage the donor and understand their reasons, right? Second is failure. So a recurring donation may not succeed, right? It fails. Why does that happen? Largely happens only for one reason. In case of net banking, which is insufficient balance in the account. That is the main reason it happens. So again, you need to contact your donor, make sure the balance is there, and then tell your provider to again charge the account. The other reason it also happens is when the card expires, right? If you're using a credit card, the credit card expires, you need to update your card. You need to get the new card details. The donor has to authenticate themselves again, and it has to be updated. Now, this can be done also automated. Many service providers provide it in an automated fashion so that whenever a card expires, the donor automatically gets an email asking for the card details to be updated. Again, so no work required from your end. Best to go for such solutions because it may not be possible for you to keep going back and forth on these things with donors. And when the subscription is completed, right? So now the donor said, I want to give every month for a year is over, and the donation subscription plan is over. You now need to ensure that you contact the donor again and set up a new subscription. Right? So this is where retention comes in. Are you able to retain the donor on recurring giving? Will come in at this stage. Now, this will only happen if you've engaged the donor, right? It's not going to happen without engaging the donor. Like I said, you have the liberty to actually ask less and engage more in this plan. So that is something that that you have on offer out here. So these are things that you yet have to manage. Sometimes it's managed by your system. Sometimes it's not. So you may want to understand which system manages all of this, doesn't manage, at least informs you of this. Even if it doesn't manage it, can it inform you of this so that you can take some action with your donors, right? Asking for recurring donation should be different than asking for one-time donations. You cannot ask for it in the same way, right? Because the amounts are smaller and it's giving monthly. And the difference they are going to make is different. So, you might say a simple ask is saying educate a child for a year for 6,000 rupees or educate a child for a month for 500 rupees, right? Simple idea, same thing. And you see most organizations actually do this. They actually do this by separating out one time and monthly, allowing donors to choose either. And I think this is one way of doing it. This allows your one-time donor to move to a monthly donor. But at the same time, it can allow your monthly donor to move to a one-time donor, right? So that is something you want to guard against, right? My approach would be to have one page which is one-time and monthly, and another page which is only monthly. I will target my monthly donors to the only monthly place, and the one-time donors to a page like this, right? So they may upgrade to a monthly donor. So a lot of organizations do this, have similar thing. But if you see both for ActionAid, the amounts are different, right? So here they talk about saying, one for 1 month for 750 or for 1 year for 9,000, right? Similarly, out here for Save the Children, they've said 800 for a month or 9,600 for a year. So as you see, the amounts have to be different. You cannot ask for the same thing between monthly and one time. They have to be different amounts. You should also think about how will you get monthly donors. I think one of the challenges for people who are saying, how do I use it better? I have it, right? So like I said, experiment with separate pages, experiment and see what works for you. So a donor will typically start off mostly as a one-time donor. And your goal is to be to engage him or her to become a recurring donor over a period of time. It's also easier to get a donor to give one time, right? The first thing, if you're getting a new donor, you want to reduce the barrier that is there to giving. You want to reduce headache, you want to reduce everything and make sure that the donor gives. I think if you acquire a donor in this way, it also reduces your cost rather than trying to convince a donor that please contribute 500 or 1,000 rupees a month, and then that becomes whatever 10,000 rupees a year. Probably apart from that, you just want to say, let's make a one-time donation, whatever that amount may be, you can figure that out what works well, and acquire the donor at least maybe for 3,000 rupees or so, right? Post that acquisition, engage the donor with a communication plan, right? In marketing parlance, this is also known as drip communication, wherein you send little bit communication on a at regular intervals. Think of it as it's a regular communication plan or a recurring communication, right? Except for the fact that it won't be same, some different communication every month, maybe every 2 weeks as well. Some ideas could be around sending organizational updates, feedback reports, tell a story, and then make an ask for an upgrade. It's often found that if you make an ask within 3 months of the first donation of a donor, you are likely to get a jump in the donation. A donor is likely to contribute to you. Again, this will only happen if you've engaged the donor, right? So we've spoken about in one of our previous webinars, saying that at least once a month, right? Send the communication at least once a month. So do that here and have a plan for a new donor, right? So and this could be a fixed set of communication that you can have where, after a donor joins up or makes a donation, after 1 month they get mail 1, after month 2 they get mail 2, so on and so forth, right? And then check if they've converted. If they've not converted, maybe you can ask them for a one-time one-time donation, one-time donation as well, right? So you'll have to experiment to see whether a donor is a one-time donor or a recurring donor. Rather than trying to push a specific option of one-time or recurring, it is more important to understand whether a donor is one-time or a donor is a recurring donor, and then separate communication accordingly. I know at times it is difficult to make communication differently, but really the only communication that you're going to do differently is the ask that you make of the donor. Otherwise, whether it's organization update, project update, stories, all of that is same, right? Nothing different. The only difference is when you ask. Are you asking one time? Are you asking recurring? Right? Over a period of time, your recurring donors will start, people who want to give regularly to you are the ones who you have engaged well, are the ones who believe in your cause, are the ones who want to do more with you. And they would prefer to give recurring. I have had somebody saying they want to even, for example, one of our donors wants to give $500 every month, right? That's a large amount of money. So even in a recurring fashion, they want to give such a large amount of money, right? So it is possible that people who even give larger amounts want to give it to you in a recurring fashion so that they don't forget. So that is something that you could look at. I'm going to stop out here and ask any question that you have, anything else that you would like to be covered in this session before we move to the demo for the recurring platform of Dana Mojo. Any questions? Anyone? Anything on chat? Okay. Then it's thank you from my end, and we'll rejoin after the demo that my colleague will present for the Ask Me Anything session.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Dhaval. Shubha? Please take over. Please take over. Continue with the demo.
Sure. Hi, everyone. So today I'll walk you through the features of Dana Mojo, like what you would get under the recurring platform under Dana Mojo. And I'll also walk you through the features of, how the recurring platform works actually. Just give me a second. Hope you all are able to see my screen right now.
Yes, Shubha.
Sure. So Dana Mojo is India's first integrated payment solutions platform for NGOs. And we have onboarded until now 900 plus NGOs on our platform. And at Dana Mojo, we provide an integrated suite of payment solutions. We have one-time donations platform. We have recurring donations platform and anonymous donations platform. So one-time donations, as we saw in this webinar, is for donors who want to make only donations for one time. Whereas recurring donations is useful for your committed donors who want to give you every week, month, or year. And UPI donations is useful as in the most convenient and quick modes of payment is the UPI QR code platform. It can be also used as donation to collect donations as an anonymous donations. So at Dana Mojo, we provide 6 key elements. Coming to the first one is that your donors will have a choice to select the ongoing activity or the plan from your activity or the plan and then make a donation to you. So under this donation products, for recurring donations, if you want to set up, if you can set the donation products under recurring donations platform as well as one-time platform. So you'll have an option to display that particular activity under both. It's not that you can just use this campaign only for one-time donations. You can use this campaign even for recurring donations platform as well. Second comes the compliance. So we make sure we are 100% legally compliant and all the donors information which is required is captured under our platform. Coming to the third one is convenience. So keeping in the convenience, we make sure that all the payment methods are available for your donors to make donation to you, and also cost effective by lowering your operation cost with instant automated ATG receipts, which is sent with every donations that happens. And also we have two options for you to communicate with your donors. One is the engagement campaigns, which we run every month, which helps you to increase your donations by 5 to 10%. And also you can communicate on your end with your donors as well by sending any newsletters or updates or reports through the email marketing platform that we have on our dashboard itself. So you can use this to send about 10,000 emails per month to your donors as well. So the main USP with Dana Mojo is that integration just takes 2 minutes, and we also help you to do that integration. And your donor stays on your own website throughout the donation happens, and they are not redirected to any other website or link to make a donation. They stay on your own website throughout the donation. And this is a very important factor from a trust perspective, because that increases the trust on your website, that you are not taken to any other website for donation. So this is an example of an integration made on Boonch website. So I'll spare some seconds for you to go through the NGOs that we have onboarded. So coming to our first platform, which is one-time donations, here your donors will have multiple payment options like credit card, debit card, net banking, mobile wallets, and UPI. And coming to our main recurring donations platform, so recurring donation platform also has multiple payment methods like debit cards, credit cards, net banking, we have 36 banks, and UPI in recurring option as well. And also there would be zero integration effort that you have to take in case you have the platform to put this on your website. Also, there are multiple flexible frequencies available to your donor, not just monthly, but also quarterly, weekly, daily, 6 months, and even a year, so that they can choose from that options and make a donation to you. And also the donor can control the end dates and the start dates as well. They can choose from the number of years that they want to make a donation to you, and also the end date when they want to end this donation. And with every, you can say, subscription, there would be an expiry on the card, and we send in the notification for them to know that the card is going to expire and they can renew their subscription as well. And also in case the donation fails, we send in a notification so you can follow up with your donors on the donations that was not happening. And as I said, you can configure your ongoing project under one time as well as the recurring donation option as well. So your donors can think about giving one time or recurring. Coming to a third platform, which is UPI QR code platform. So here your donor will have the convenience to just scan the QR code through any UPI app and make a donation to you. You can go through all the further details once we share the presentation with you. So at Dana Mojo, we also provide few value-added features like branded QR codes, dashboards to go through all the details of your donor, the payouts, your you can say information about the documents. Everything is available under the dashboard. And also monthly donation summary is sent to you every month to understand the donations that you have raised every month. And also annual fundraising summary, which will help you to understand the donations that you have collected overall in a year. So at Dana Mojo, we see we are an integrated payment solutions platform because we provide an holistic solution, reducing your overall cost, time and effort with the following features that we added features that we have. Like you can send in receipts for your offline donations as well. Like if you receive any donations through check or bank transfer, you can even send receipts for these donations as well through Dana Mojo. We also have 0% transaction fee options, which allows you to allows your donors to cover the transaction charge for you. So it is 0% for you. And also one-on-one personalized training is provided on the dashboard for you to understand how the dashboard works and make full use of the dashboard and the platform. We also conduct fundraising webinars for you to understand in-depth topics to help you in fundraising. And also we have auto separation for Indian and foreign donations as well. So you need not worry about the donations going into any other account. We also provide phone support, which is not provided by most of the payment gateway providers. Apart from that, we also do website monitoring, which will help you to understand when your website is down. Like we keep a monitoring, or we monitor your website to understand when your website is down or it's the widget is not working, and then we help you to correct the same so that you are well aware of, I mean, your website is going smooth all the time. We also provide a branded web page to your donors for your donors to donate. Like for example, if you do not have a website, then you can use the branded web page. And also if you have a website and your website is currently under construction or maybe some technical issues, or if it is not mobile responsive, even in that case, you can use the branded web page provided by Dana Mojo. So Dana Mojo provides a very cost-effective solutions compared to any other traditional payment gateways, because from an overall cost perspective, you would be saving at Dana Mojo because all the elements like having a website developer, hosting provider, payment gateway, email marketing platform, also an internal team to send out you can say the receipts, all this is not required, and all the elements are covered automatically under the range of just 3,000 to 9,000 rupees under Dana Mojo, and hence we say that we are very cost effective. So this is what you can say is all about the features that we provide at Dana Mojo. I'll show you how the, you can say, recurring platform works on our website. Just give me a second. So hope you all are able to see my screen right now.
Yes, Shubha.
Sure. So this is how the recurring donations platform would look on your website. So it's donate once, donate monthly. So you can even have this together in one website, on one page, I'm sorry, or you can have donate monthly options separately on a different page so that you can direct your recurring donors directly to the donate monthly page only. So let's try how the donate monthly option works. So under donate monthly, just give me a second. Yeah, is it visible right now?
Yes, Shubha.
Yeah. So under donate monthly, you can see the number of projects which is listed. So your donors can choose the project and then come down, and they'll have the option to cover your transaction charges as well. The transaction charges that they would pay and the total would be also displayed for them. They can choose to cover or they can not choose to cover. But we have seen that most of the donors, about 60 to 70% of the donors do opt to cover the transaction charges for the NGO. So the legal compliant form which captures all the details of your donors.
Okay, looks like we have lost Shubha. Okay, let's move on, and I open the floor for any questions that you may have. You could raise your hand and I'll unmute you. You can ask your voice your question. If not, you can put it on the chat and then we'll be happy to answer it.
Okay, so I have some questions out here from Vikram. You know, 85 input on 85% spending criteria, how to account for donations received, especially in March, and that it can't be spent. Right. So there is a form that you can fill out. You can ask your accountant or CA about this. You can fill out a form asking for the a carry forward if it exceeds the 15% limit. You can carry forward on projects that is available for up to 5 years. So you can definitely do that. And regarding the new CSR rules, I think that's a much larger topic. Maybe we'll do a separate session on the new CSR rules and the CSR implementation policy. I'll leave that question on, but we can take any other questions that are there.
Yeah, the floor is open. Any question, anything related to fundraising, any question that is in your mind, please don't hesitate to ask any questions.
So we have a question. Vikram is asking, is there an option in your platform? Can we put a mandatory condition of quoting PAN in case of 19K or more and would be able to verify the PAN details? Okay. So first of all, PAN number is only required for donations above 50,000 rupees from a legal perspective. So that is automatically available on the platform. Apart from that, if you do want PAN number, then it would be applicable for all donations. It's not possible to put it over a certain number. We would actually urge all of you all to not have it because it is not legally required currently. Is there and we can't verify the details. We do verify the structure of it, but not the exact PAN number. Is there an option for donors? So we have Sandeep is asking, is there an option for donors to choose the amount they would like to donate monthly? Yes, absolutely, Sandeep. Donors can choose whatever amount that they would like to contribute. It's a free flow thing, so you can do that. Apurva is asking about drip communication. What is drip communication? Okay. So Apurva, drip communication is basically sending pieces of communication. It's like recurring donation. You get some amount of money every month. It's like that, except that you get some amount, the donor gets some amount of communication every month or every week. It's a way to engage your donors over a period of time, and a lot of softwares provide automated ways of doing that, so that once they subscribe to your list, you actually are able to provide them in a way where they would say, okay, they subscribe, and then you can say after 1 week send this mail, after 2 weeks send this mail. So these are things that that you can actually set up. So basic idea is that you can do a little bit every time. Will the new FCRA amendment affect recurring donation? Not really. FCRA doesn't say or will not say anything about recurring or non-recurring. It's only about payments. Is the ATG received in Dana Mojo's name or the NGO's name? So the ATG receipt is in the NGO's name. It's just sent by Dana Mojo on your behalf. Okay. I will. I think we missed out on the demo, right? Namita?
Yeah, Shubha is back, Dhaval.
Okay, so we can probably, she can show the demo in that case.
Yes.
Yeah. Just give me a second. I'll just have you over the page as well. So yeah, hope you all are able to see my screen right now.
Yes, Shubha.
Yeah. So as we said, we have a 100% legal compliant donor form. So this will capture the donor's details. I'll select the citizenship. And then your donor will come to this page where they can select the frequency. So we have the frequency monthly, daily, weekly, quarterly, 6 months, and year. And they can select the start date, end date as well. On the end date, they can select when they want to end, the year that they want to end. They can also select the month that they would want to. So in case I select this, I can select the month that I want to end. And then I'll have the option of credit, debit cards, and UPI and net banking, which I can choose from. So let's select credit and debit cards. So here I will have option to choose the payment way and then make a donation. I would choose maybe UPI or a card. Let's select the card. And then I'll enter my details and I would make the donation. So that's how you can say the recurring platform works on our platform. You can definitely put in the questions for the questions that you would like to understand. And we'll also share the presentation with you. You can even fill the inquire form on our website to know about the platform in detail. And we would definitely get back to you, explain everything in detail and share the presentation with you as well.
So I would like to add a few more things to what Shubha has been saying. The way online recurring donations works is the first payment will always be made as the donor will have to authenticate the first payment, right? Once they authenticate the first payment, the rest of the payments will happen automatically, right? So the first payment is authenticated the way you do a normal one-time donation, and the rest of it happens automatically. Every time a payment happens, ATG receipt gets sent automatically. When the payment is completed, we send you a notification so you can go back to your donor and check with them. When a card expires, automatically a donor is prompted to re-enter their card details, update the card details. If a donation, if a recurring transaction fails for any reason, like I said, largely it is because the card is expired or there is no account, bank account is not enough. Again, you will get a notification saying this has happened, so you can go back and get these details from the donor. So in this way, your work in doing this is reduced to the minimum. There's also no additional integration. That's the best part of the recurring platform with Dana Mojo. If you're already a one-time donor, you can just add on to this. And like Shubha mentioned, there's an additional discount of 10% for people who are already members of Dana Mojo. Apart from that, what you also have a facility of is whenever a donor actually cancels their transaction, right? You can again contact the donor, understand why they canceled and try and set it up. Donors can also set up multiple subscriptions. So maybe they started with 250 rupees. Now they want to do another 250 or 500 rupees. They can just set up one more subscription and it will just get added on top of that. And you'll get 750 rupees as a result of it. So all of these are features which are available with the Dana Mojo platform. I just wanted to round that off, and if there are any questions, we'd be happy to continue taking those.
If you have any question, please raise your hand and we'll be happy to answer it.
Vikram is asking, do you store donor details? Yes, Vikram, the donor details are stored because this provides a constant, provides a donor source for your own organization and allows you to access your donor base. So it's a donor database for you.
Before we jump on to next question, I want to steal in 2 minutes here. I've put in the feedback link in the chat. Please go ahead and give us your feedback so that we can improve our session and also understand if our webinar is making any difference with your operations. This feedback wouldn't take more than 2 minutes. Please go ahead and click on the link and give your feedback. Yeah. Rinju Shah, please go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, my question was like the registration cost at Dana Mojo, you said 3,000 to 9,000. So is it per month or annually or how is it?
That's annually.
Okay. And is there any reduction when the donors pay or donates some amount from the donated amount?
Yeah, there is. It's based on the plan. So if you can just fill out the inquire form, then our colleagues will get back to you and answer specific questions with respect to Dana Mojo.
Okay, so right now, like we are using Razorpay.
Hmm.
So is that something like when we are using Dana Mojo, we can't use Razorpay? Is there something, any
No, there's
obligation
nothing
for
like
that?
that.
Okay, and if the donor wants to like if we have subscribed with Dana Mojo, so is the website only the platform through which the donor can donate?
If you also take the UPI QR code platform, then you can send this UPI QR code to the donors via WhatsApp, put it on social media, send it in have it as an email signature as well. And the donor will be able to donate through that also.
Okay. Okay, then. Thank you so much. This was my query.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So we was asking that can recurring donations be used for unrestricted and flexible? So Apurva is asking, recurring donation allows NGOs to have unrestricted and flexible funding. I think it really depends. That's not really about recurring donations or one-time donations. I really think it depends on how you ask for the donation and what is the purpose you have asked while asking. If you have asked for unrestricted donations, you can use it for unrestricted. If you've asked for restricted, then you should use it for restricted. What it does allow, it provides you the way of planning your cycle, planning your donation process a lot more smoothly. Right? Specific questions with Dana Mojo, we prefer to take it offline because you can, fill out our inquire form and get back to us on that. And there is, so I won't answer questions specific to Dana Mojo's plans and all of that. More generic questions around recurring or fundraising are things I'd be happy to take up. So Mridmay, again, I'll ask you to just fill out the inquire form on our website and we'll get back to you. Okay. Is there anyone else? Do we have any more questions? Okay, thank you.
Dhaval, there's one question.
Okay, yeah. So Darshana is asking, are UPI donations anonymous? Our NGO does not accept anonymous donations. Okay, very good question, Davishna. Sorry. So Davishna, UPI donations do tend to be anonymous because you don't get necessarily, definitely don't get the address, and sometimes you don't get the name in any other platform. But there are what you can do is, one is you should check whether you should explore accepting anonymous donations, because all NGOs can accept anonymous donations by law up to 5% of their gross donations, right? Gross donation meaning all donations that you receive, whether from government, whether from corporates, institutions, you can receive up to 5% of that, or 1 lakh rupees, whichever is higher. So if your budget of your organization is 1 crore, you can get 5%, that is 5 lakh rupees of anonymous donation. So that is something you can definitely accept and do. The other option that you have is, if you take up Dana Mojo's UPI platform, then DanaMojo provides a way for a donor to enter their details after making a donation, and in the process also send them an ATG receipt. So that's another way that you can convert an anonymous donor to a non-anonymous donor. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, Acheng, please go ahead and ask a question. Yeah, Acheng, please ask your question.
Hello.
Yes,
No,
please.
my question has been answered. I wanted to ask regarding the UPI.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Okay. I think there are no other questions. And today's session was our 10th session in our fundraising Friday webinar series. All our earlier sessions are available on our YouTube channel. I am pinging the YouTube channel link. Please subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss on anything on fundraising. And our upcoming webinars, if you are unable to attend it on time, please register and also keep a watch on our YouTube channel for the recordings. Thanks for making it for this session, and we look forward to seeing you in our upcoming sessions. Thank you.